Good morning, everyone. Happy Thursday. As usual, it's me, just another fun day full of learning and seeing my face on video in the morning. So before we get started, I want to go ahead and share our daily assignments, and then we can get to reading the BFG. So I posted a quote that I really love, and it just says, be brave, be creative, be kind, be thankful, be happy, and be you. And so I just want you to remember this. I think sometimes with everyone being home, it's easy to forget these things, okay? So I said, let's start this day with a smile and some positive energy. So today in our classroom community, I want you all to be there if you can make it. We're going to be reading through our Reader's Theater for Burlingame history, and then you'll be able to email me roles that you're interested in. So please come to the meeting so that you have a say in a particular role that you want, okay? You have chapter 9 in Sideways Stories in slide 13. Today for your writing, it should be pretty easy because yesterday you did the hard part. You edited, you revised, you made at least 3 changes. So today you're just going into your packet. That's digital. If you remember, go into Google Classroom, and then under classwork, you'll see writing, and you'll see your opinion writing documents. So, or your opinion writing final draft packet. So the first one was the best pet. So then scroll down to page 2 and you will see the best place to live. So you're just going to be typing out your final draft. You finished chapter 10 in math. I know that some of it was a little bit challenging. So you have your math test today. It's short and sweet. Please check your work, okay? So it's right here, the digital math test. Online, you don't need to print anything out. Social studies, you're going to finish slide 22. You'll be done with your slides. You have a short quiz. You can use your slides, and you have some notes in your packet if you want to use that. So it's open note. You're going to do just fine on it. And then I put the script here for you for the Reader's Theater if you want a little sneak peek, or if you want to have it up during our community circle time. And then library, I found a really fun read aloud for you. You know, I always like choosing books that connect to things that we're doing in class. So you are going to listen to The Great K-Pop Tree be read, but I have a little very quick short 3-minute introduction of what the book is about, and then something that you're going to be doing while you read, okay? You have your art there, and that's it. I left out your digital journal and grammar for today just because I want you to work hard typing up your final draft, and you have those 2 quizzes, including your math one. So take your time during all of these things, and you'll have fun with that. So I'm going to stop sharing, and I'm going to finish this chapter. The next chapter is really long too, so I'll read a little bit of it. But if you remember, we left off where the BFG gave the the flesh lump eater, I get them confused sometimes, the horrible, terrible dream. And he was thrashing his arms and limbs more violently by the second. And then he started talking about, he's dreaming about the Jack and the Beanstalk. And so this is where he left off. It said Sophie couldn't stop smiling because of Jack and the Beanstalk and how afraid of him they are. What are you grilling at? The BFG asked her, slightly nettled. I'll tell you later, Sophie said. The awful nightmare had now gripped the great brute to such an extent that he was tying his whole body into knots. Do not do it, Jack, he screeched. I was not eating you, Jack. I was never eating human beings. I swear I has never gobbled a single human being in all of my wholesome life. Liar, said the BFG. Just then, one of the flesh lump eater's flailing fists caught the still fast asleep, meat-dripping giant smack in the mouth. At the same time, one of his furiously thrashing legs kicked the snoring gizzard-gulping giant right in the guts. Both the injured giants woke up and leaped to their feet. He is swiping me right in the mouth, yelled the meat dripper. He is bung-swaggling me smack in the gut, shouted the gizzard-gulper. The 2 of them rushed at the flesh lump eater and began pounding him with their fists and feet. The wretched flesh lump eater woke up with a bang. He awoke straight from one nightmare into another. He roared into battle, and in a bellowing thumping, the rough and tumble that followed, one sleepy giant after another either got stepped on or kicked. Soon all 9 of them were on their feet, having the most almighty free-for-all. They punched and kicked and scratched and bit and butted each other as hard as they could. Blood flowed, noses went crunched, sheets fell out like hailstones. The giants roared and screamed and cursed, and for many minutes the noise of battle rolled across the yellow plain. The BFG smiled a big wide smile of absolute pleasure. I was loving it when they was all having a good tough and rumble, he said. We'll kill each other, Sophie said. Never, the BFG answered. Those beasts is always fishing and walloping at one another. Soon it will be getting dusky, and they will be galloping off to fill their tummies. They're coarse and foul and filthy, Sophie said. I hate them. As the BFG headed back to the cave, he said quietly, we certainly was putting that nightmare to good use, though, wasn't we? Excellent use, Sophie said. Well done, you. And then the next chapter is called Dreams, so I'll just read a little bit of this. The big friendly giant was seated at the great table in his cave, and he was doing his homework. Sophie sat cross-legged on the tabletop nearby watching him at work. The glass jar containing the one and only good dream they had caught that day stood between them. The BFG, with great care and patience, was printing something on a piece of paper with an enormous pencil. What are you writing? Sophie asked him. Every dream is having its special label on the bottle, the BFG said. How else could I be finding the one I am wanting in a hurry? That you can really and truly tell what sort of dream it's going to be simply by just listening to it? Sophie asked. I can, the BFG said, not looking up. But how? Is it by the way it hums and buzzes? You is less or more right, the BFG said. Every dream in the world is making a different sort of buzzy hum music, and these grand swashbuckling ears of mine is able to read that music. By music, do you mean tunes? I is not meaning tunes. Then what do you mean? Human beings is having their own music, right or left? Right, Sophie said. Lots of music. And sometimes human beings is very overcome when they is hearing wondrous music, and they is getting shivers right down their spindles, right or left. Right, Sophie said. So the music is saying something to them. It is sending a message. I do not think the human beings is knowing what the message is, but they is loving it just the same. That's about right, Sophie said. But because of these jump squiffling ears of mine, the BFG said, I is not only able to hear the music that the dream is making, but I understand it also. What do you mean by understand it? Sophie said. I can read it, the BFG said. It talks to me. It's like a language. I find that just a little hard to believe, Sophie said. I bet you is finding it hard to believe in quite a winkles, the BFG said, how they is visiting us from the stars. Of course I don't believe that, Sophie said. The BFG regarded her gravely with those huge eyes of his. I hope you will forgive me, he said. But I tell you that human beings is thinking they is very clever, and they is not. They is nearly all of them not muchers and squipkeeps. I beg your pardon, Sophie said. The matter with human beings, the BFG went on, is that they is absolutely refusing to believe in anything unless they is actually seeing it right in front of their own schnozzles. Of course, quagwinkles is existing. I is meeting them oftenly. I is even chittering to them. He turned away contemptuously from Sophie and resumed his writing. Sophie moved over to read what he had written so far. The letters were printed big and bold and were not very well formed. Here's what it said. This dream is about how I is saving my teacher from drowning. I is diving into the river from a high bridge, and I is dragging my teacher to the bank, and then I is giving him the kiss of death. The kiss of what? Sophie said. The BFG stopped writing and raised his head slowly. His eyes rested on Sophie's face. I is telling you once before that I is never having a chance to go to school. I is full of mistakes. This is not my fault. I do my best. You is a lovely little girl, but please remember that you is not exactly must know everything yourself. I'm sorry, Sophie said. I really am. It was very rude of me to keep correcting you. The BFG gazed at her for a while longer, then he bent his head again to his slow, laborious writing. Tell me honestly, Sophie said, if you blew this dream into my bedroom when I was asleep, would I really and truly start dreaming about how I saved my teacher from drowning by diving off the bridge? More, the BFG said, a lot more. But I cannot be squibbling the whole grab-plunkling dream on a titchy bit of paper. Of course there is more. The BFG laid down his pencil and placed one massive ear close to the jar. For about 30 seconds, he listened intently. Yes, he said, nodding his great head solemnly up and down. This dream is continuing very nice. It has a very Dora Hunky ending. How does it end? Sophie said. Please tell me. You would be dreaming, the BFG said, that the morning after you was saving the teacher from the river, you was arriving at school, and you was seeing all the 500 pupils sitting in the assembly hall, and all the teachers as well. And the head teacher is then standing up and saying, I is wanting the whole school to give 3 cheers for Sophie because she is so brave and is saving the life of our fine arithmetic teacher, Mr. Figgins, who was unfortunately pushed off a bridge into the river by our gym teacher. So 3 cheers for Sophie. And the whole school is then cheering like mad and shouting, bravo, well done. And forever after that, even when you is getting your sums all gung swizzled and muggled up, Mr. Figgins is always giving you 10 out of 10 and is writing good work, Sophie, in your exercise book. Then you's waking up. I like that dream, Sophie said. So there's a lot more where that came from. So we'll read more on Monday. Okay, everyone? Have a good start to your morning, and I'll talk to you all at our community circle. Bye.